Hi Stampers, it's Nancy Novak from StampandShout.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am talking about some tips and techniques using the punch, based on specifically the Songbird Builder Punch. So I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can use it. I'm going to start off with, I think, more of the difficult techniques, and then we're going to get easier and easier as we go along. First thing is I took a scrap of cardstock and I went ahead and I put it in my punch. So in case you don't know, punches have this little locking mechanism, and you just slide it down and it opens the punch, and then you slide your cardstock or stamping piece of paper, whatever you're using, in, and you punch it. So I went ahead and I punched on this piece of cardstock, and it's about 4 inches by 4 inches or so, and I'm going to use that as a template. So the first thing you can do is the first thing you have to do after you have your template is to take your stamping pieces and lay them in there, just fit them in there. And I'm putting them the stamping side down, and I'm using my stamparatus, so I'm just fitting them right in there. You can kind of feel where they go because I used cardstock, so it's got a little bit thicker than just plain paper, a little bit heavier. And you can also put the little beak in there. And I'm just going to close up my stamparatus, make sure they're all there, and lift it, and all those pieces are now stuck to my stamparatus. So the next thing I can do is to bring in a stamping piece of paper. So again, this is about 4 inches by 4 inches, or you could just cut it down to the size that you see here. You know, I can just put a scrap in there. So I'm going to lay my magnets down. Now when you do it this way, this is good when you want to stamp all one color. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up, and I got Parakeet Party here. And there you have all your pieces. And then you can bring in your punch, and they all line up, and you can cut them all out at one time. So let's just line these up. Give them a punch. And I just want to finish the look of this bird so you can see what it looks like. And the most important thing to finish this bird off is to give him some eyes. So I'll give him a couple of the little black eyes, and right away you can see how he comes to life. And we lay his tummy down right there. Let me glue these together so you can see him. I'm going to bring him up close. And his little wing right there, his tummy. So again, this technique is great if you want to make the same color bird. And again, I have his beak here. I think I would actually make his beak in a different color so it shows up a little bit more. But let me just put it on here anyway, because you can see it with the little punch out. And there you have all the same color. So let's build on that a little bit. Let's do something just a little bit different. What if you don't want the same color bird? So I'm going to bring in my template again, covered up with my magnets to hold it down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the stomach piece and the beak. So now we know those are lined up. The main pieces and the little wing are lined up. We'll just make sure. And then these pieces I'm going to go ahead and lay back in here. I'm not going to make the beak because, let's make the beak. I'll show you different colors. So again, you're putting the stamping side down. And now I'm going to bring in this cover plate and pick up those pieces. And now we're going to stamp in different colors. So I'm going to take another piece of scrap and I'm going to punch out my pieces. And I'm going to lay them in here. I think I'll save my beak because it might, I'm going to do that second and it might pick up. So now let's see, I'm going to make a robin. Since I'm here in Michigan, I want to make a robin. So I'm going to use Early Espresso. I'm going to ink up the main part of that bird and its wing. Okay, so we have those two pieces. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off with my scrubby. Actually, I can take them off because I'm not going to use them for a bit. Now this one over here, remember we lined those up. I'm going to make sure this one's lined up. And now we're going to do this side in a different color, and I'm bringing in Sweet Sorbet. So now I have to put my other pieces in there, which I don't know what happened to them. Might have already used them. So I'm punching out the tummy and the beak. So I'm going to lay those in our template. And then bring over our stamps. And let's just put this together really quick here. So again, let's stamp some eyes for him. So we'll do those in black. And we'll glue our red tummy on our robin. And our wing. And you just have to play with it a little bit. Sometimes it might move slightly, but put the little beak, put a little bit of glue on that beak. And now we have our robin. So let me show you this on a piece of white paper. So we have our solid color little bird that we punched out and our robin. So see that in person you can see his eyes really well, but if you use a lighter color, obviously it'll show up a little better. So now let's show you one more technique, or another technique. I have a few here. Let me just move these off of here. And you can, of course, use your Stamparatus, or you can use your blocks. And I'm going to use the blocks with a strip. So this is the technique that I like to use the most. So let me bring my punch in so you can see what I'm doing. So basically I have different size strips depending on which piece I want to stamp and cut out. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp the large bird, and let's see what color. I'm going to stick with the robin. So we'll do that in Early Espresso. That turned out perfect. And then you just take your strip and punch it out. But I'm going to show you something. Let's say you want to make a few cards. Let's do another stamped image, and let's even do a green one, a parakeet party bird. Okay, so now just bring in your punch and line it up. And this way, when you use the strips, I'm just making sure all the little pieces are out of there. When you use the strips, you don't really waste a lot of paper. You're going to have a little bit up there, but that doesn't really matter, those little pieces. So let's just go like this. So now, if you were making several cards, you could see how quick you could stamp and punch out your images. So that's using strips. Then I have smaller strips for the wing. So let me show you that real quick. So I'm just going to do so what you want to do, I'm going to do a parakeet party. So what you want to do is you want to look at the way that it's facing, and you just want to stamp in that same direction. I can even do one up here probably. I better do it here. Then you just take your strip and line it up. And start punching. You have to remember not to punch them too close, or so there we go. So we could have a green leaf on the brown bird, or whatever color you want. But I just wanted to show you that technique of using strips, which is what I like to do. And you can use that for all the different components. So you could have a little bit larger, wider strip for his tummy if you wanted to do that. The next thing I want to show you is using the punch with designer series paper. So let's see here. Let's bring in, just grab whatever designer series paper I had. And I punched out once, and then I punched out again in white. I don't need the bird this time, just his tummy. Well, let me use my strips, right? I'm going to do the stomach and the beak. Okay, then I am going to bring in, I guess I'll bring in early espresso since I have it here, and I'm going to take that bird, I'm just going to do the edges a little bit just to give it some definition. And somewhere I have a wing here. Here's his wing. I'll do that definitely on the wing, because it'll if you put it on the same color on the body, it might not show up as well. And I'm going to use a white stomach, but let me stamp his eyes real quick so you can see the definition. Okay, so we'll glue a wing on. Thought I had one of these done. And we're going to leave his tummy white, but I definitely want to use my sponge dauber a little bit on the tummy. You could do it as much as you want on his stomach, just to give it a little bit more definition. Put a little bit of glue there. And he's even going to have a white beak. If I can get, there's a little bit of glue here. And let me show you him. So there is a little bird out of the designer series paper. And last but not least, let's just do one out of cardstock. So I got a little strip here, and I can actually fit the bird and the wing, which I want the same color. And then I got a little bit of a darker green, and we'll do the beak and the tummy. So let's stamp his eyes. Here we go. And we'll put his tummy on. Just line that up. And his wing. Now if you wanted, you could outline his wing with a little bit of ink. And his beak. Let me put his little bit of glue on his beak and we'll attach that right there. So let's take a peek. Let's see, we'll put them on white. So we got the cardstock little bird, kind of wild looking. And then our DSP. And don't know where the rest of them all went. Oh, here's my robin. And then one done in the same color. So if you have any questions, let me know. Just wanted to give you a few ideas of how you can use that punch. And watch tomorrow on Friday. I'm going to have a Fast Friday card, a real fast card that you can make with the Sweet Songbird stamp set. And then we'll fuss it up a little bit. We'll fuss it and make it a little bit fancier later on Friday afternoon. So those will be on my Facebook page. So anyway, if you have any questions, be sure to ask, leave your comments, say hi. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.